the volume a little bit, just because I'm realizing it might be a little bit too loud. But regardless of all that, for those of you that are currently watching on YouTube, I thank you for stopping by, and I do hope you enjoy. If you do, hit the subscription button, the bell notification, so you can always be notified whenever I upload a full stream or anything else that catches my fancy. Hit the like if you liked, and comment if you feel so inclined to do so. As you can tell, this opening is a little bit more sporadic. I'm a little bit more energized, maybe a lot more energized depending on your point of view. But the reason being is obviously from the title. In a couple of days here, Death Stranding drops, and I'm super, super excited. So much so that every time I go to bed in the last couple of days, I've actually been staying up, staring at my ceiling, trying to get sleep for about an hour to an hour and a half. So, the main idea for this is to basically discuss my intentions for Death Stranding and what exactly this 36-hour stream I'm going to be doing entails. They don't really have any sound options, so before I continue, I'll do my ending, like my beginning spiel, and we'll go from there. So basically, what I intend to do is I intend to play Metal Gear Solid for the next 3 days, from 8 until whatever today, tomorrow, and then the day, no actually, wait, today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday the 7th, and then midnight is the 8th. If I'm not mistaken, Death Stranding comes out at midnight. So we'll basically be playing Metal Gear Solid tomorrow up until midnight, and then I'll be switching over to Death Stranding for the foreseeable 36 hours. That's something I'm super, super, super excited for. Of course, we'll be taking breaks to use the restroom and consume food and keep ourselves healthy and all that jazz. But that is the major intention for tomorrow, basically. As long as I can play it at midnight. So, also tomorrow I'll be getting up the short little XCOM 2 War of the Chosen going over the basics video I made. Or stream I did. I'll be posting that to YouTube. And then I'll be posting this to YouTube as well the same day, but I'll have it like staggered, so it's not exactly like, oh, my brain totally lost track of what was. Oh, it's staggered, so it's not like, oh, 2 videos, which one should I watch first? You can watch them both in that day. My apologies, my brain's a little bit of a jumbled mess. I do know the general gist of what is entailed for Death Stranding. We're just going to free roam. Honestly. We'll go here. Okay. So, yeah, that's what I know about Death Stranding. I know the general gist of it. I know for a fact that you're playing as the Sam Bridges, and he's going to go connect to the United States, yada yada, all that jazz. I've avoided the last release trailer. I don't want to see any more, and I don't want to hear any more about this game going forward. I want to find everything out. I want to find everything else out on my own. We're gonna go with the lethality, I believe. we'll do customization stuff for the stuff after we get to that point. Okay, that's good enough. Anyways, so I figured that since Death Stranding is a Hideo Kojima game, might as well chill with a Hideo Kojima game. At least to try and get some of that hype out. I know it's not the same game, it probably doesn't play the same. Regardless of all that, I am looking forward to this. So my intended getup is I'm going to have a couple of like power bars near standby. I'm going to have a couple of bottles of, basically a gallon of water in two separate juice bottles. So I'll have like a half gallon in the refrigerator that's going to be chilled. And then I'll switch back and forth between those two bottles as we go. When I start getting tired though, if my tea doesn't work, I'll have a couple of energy drinks on standby for like last resort. Down the hatch. We're ready and raring to go. Let's do this. But if is not in question, when we get past 36 hours, we may go longer. But more than likely, I'll end it there. We'll go and host somebody who's either playing Death Stranding or what have you. Regardless of all that,
careful down there, boss.
I need to remember how to play this game, and that's the thing. I highly doubt that the combat, if there is combat in the game, but I definitely doubt it's going to be as extensive as Kojima's previous games. It looks like there's going to be a heavier focus on long stretches of low inactivity. And what I mean by low inactivity is like engagements, combat, stuff like that. There'll be long stretches of just moving along. And I think those long stretches are going to be great. They'll give individuals time to process the events that are going on, get a better understanding. Heck, for all we know, there could be a lot of more exploration than there seems to be. And a lot of the lore, how... Yeah, never mind. I was going to try and make quiet go quiet, but I don't remember exactly how to do that. Anyways, aside from all that jazz, the general thing that I intend to do with all that revolving around Death Stranding primarily pertains to just chilling and playing the game and figuring out the entirety of the world, doing as much exploration as possible. I intend to do 100%. Obviously, I doubt I'm going to be able to finish the entirety of the game within that 36-hour period. At least I hope so. I hope it's not all completely devoid of any content while you're traveling, which, again, it's one of those things that I highly doubt will occur, but it's a possibility. It will allow for a lot of communication, though, revolving around those and whoever else decides to watch during the stream. I really do think there's going to be a lot of reason behind all that seemingly distant travel. Maybe to show you just how much absence there actually is in the world.
Open your iDroid and select it from the mission list.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall how to exactly play this game.
They're all jobs that only you can handle.
And Yeah, it's been quite some time since I last played this game. That's right, the scan. Pretty much gonna go for anybody who's S rank, whatever. But yeah, I'm like him. We want to keep him. But I'm thinking about all the different things that I've seen from previous commercials. There's going to be combat, obviously. I don't know if there's going to be any weapon combat, but the combat we're going to see does not look like the combat's meant to be used against regular humans. Then again, there looks to be some sort of boss fight. Now, like, or multiple boss fights, depending on what exactly we're going up against. I wonder if there will be any kind of firearm usage, because so far we haven't seen anything of the sort. We have seen in some of the advertising stuff, we've seen a pistol be used, but that was a cutscene pistol. And as we all know, cutscene items are they break the rules of the games consistently. The main focus, obviously, for that game seems to be the story. Of course. And I just wonder what the combat is going to be like. Is it going to be just fists? Or is it entirely an avoidance game? That'll be pretty unique. Will we be able to, like I said, use weapons? And if we can, what is the amount of weapons that we will be able to use? Will we be stuck to staffs? Will we have something like that? How will the combat play? For all we know, this could be a Dark Souls style game. That would be hilarious, not gonna lie. Would be absolutely hilarious. But it does look like there's, like with the cargo, when he's shipping stuff, it looks like if he gets hit, from what we've seen, he will lose items and he can pick those items back up. How long those items stay on the ground is beyond me. Whether or not the people that go after you pick up those items is beyond me. The extent of the hunt, basically, is what I'm going to call it, with NPCs chasing you down, I have no idea. Is it a consistent thing? Is it something that's going to remain forever and always? I have no idea. But I'm extremely excited for it. From what I have seen in the game, it looks like there's going to be a lot of cutscene. And that's why I'm more than okay if there's going to be long stretches of inactivity where Norman Reedus' character, Sam Bridges, is just traveling. Because that'll give us time to take everything in. To be like, okay, so this is the situation we find ourselves in. What exactly does that mean for our character and the characters that are around him? Yeah, I'm just in general excited. It's been quite some time since I've been as excited for yeah, no. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been as excited for a game like this. So much so that I'm actually losing some sleep over it. So, a perfect example of what I'm talking about is, even if I didn't intend to stream this game, like, even if I didn't start streaming when I did, I would still definitely be playing this game for as long, if not longer, than I intend to do that stream for. Like, what I mean to say is, at one point when Metal Gear Solid 3, I think it was, maybe it was Metal Gear Solid 4, it was Metal Gear Solid 4.
are your friends?
Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and when it came out, I stayed up and played through 3, 1, 2. I watched some videos on the ones that I didn't have, and then I played through 4. And I didn't get, like, I think it took me 30 hours to get through those games, and those games I went to sleep on. Maybe once. Maybe. And it's hard for me to remember because of how long ago I did this. But that was after I beat it. I went to sleep. I woke up. Yeah, that's right. It was like 2 days after I did that, I got MGS4, and then I played through that all the way through, and I think it took me 20 hours to do that. Now, I know it's not 36 hours, but the point I'm trying to make is I'm as hyped for this game as I was those games. Probably more so because this is one of the first games that Hideo Kojima has been able to make where he's truly had the freedom to do whatever the hell he wants to do. So it's not like he's got any kind of chains or restraints that prevent him from making the game how he wants to make it.
He's coming too. Roger
Now,
that.
there is a decent possibility that some people will think certain things about that game are slow or what have you, but I highly doubt somebody like that will be, because I'm big on story, right? Like, I'm going in that game with the mindset that the main focus is going to be story. Doesn't look like there's going to be a focus on combat. Doesn't look like there's going to be a focus on yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be main focus on stuff like that. Even avoiding combat doesn't look like they're going to have a main focus on something like... Well, actually, I stand corrected. That is probably what the main focus is going to be, avoiding combat. But I mean stealth. It doesn't look like there's going to be a stealth aspect. Or, well, there is going to be a stealth aspect, but what I mean is it doesn't look like that stealth aspect is going to be the front and center aspect of the game. The three front and center aspects of the game of what I see is the characters, the story, and the adventure, right? And what I mean by this is, it's in no particular order, by the way, but what I mean by this is we're gonna get a lot of information on the characters during the story, and while we have that story going, afterwards, when we're traveling, we'll have time to take that story in. Greetings and good day, Grant Kirkland. How are you today? I think I've been talking for about 15 minutes straight on how excited I am for this game. I've kind of said the same thing a couple of times. You may hear me repeat myself a lot, and I apologize for that, but I've actually started to lose a little bit of sleep because of how hype I am for this game. Like last night, I stayed up for about an hour and a half just staring at my ceiling while trying to get sleep because of how excited I am for this game. But yes, Spotted Snake. I figured that we might as well play a Hideo Kojima game while we just gush and discuss. I have not watched the most recent release trailer, and I'm not going to. But I have watched everything else up to this point regarding Death Stranding. So, yeah. Also, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow, Snick? If I'm not mistaken, tomorrow's the day this starts. As in, tomorrow in quotation, tomorrow in quotation marks. My verbal dyslexia was acting up a little bit there. But what I mean is, by tomorrow in quotation marks, is at 8 p.m. I'm going to start my stream, and I'm probably going to be playing Metal Gear Solid once more, right? Just to continue this trend. And then, at around midnight, if I'm not mistaken, I'll be able to start up Death Stranding. And from midnight all the way until 12 a.m. the next day is how long we're streaming at minimal. I could potentially go longer than 36 depending on how invested I am into the game. But the bare minimal I am streaming Death Stranding for is going to be 36 hours. And it's going to be a whole event. We're going to be sat down, not the whole time obviously, but we're going to be sat down and eating our breakfasts, our lunches, and our dinners together. We're going to be just invested. We are going to eat and breathe Death Stranding for that day and a half. I also am going to have 2 different bottles of water, about half gallon each bottle. And one's consistently going to be in the refrigerator while I have the other one drinking on standby. I'm also going to have a couple things of tea ready to keep me awake, keep my voice from dying on me, because I'm going to be talking, maybe not continuously, but if I'm not mistaken, the long stretches of traveling that Sam Bridges is going to be doing when he's trying to make those connections is going to be where we're going to get a lot of the conversation about the story out. Well, Snake dead, yeah. And I'll probably be drinking a plenty amount of tea during that. Also, I'm going to have a couple of energy drinks on standby, just in case it gets to the point where I start to peter out. I'll be able to pour those energy drinks into my tea, and it won't be as hard of a crash when the effects of the energy drinks start to go down, I've noticed. Because I literally just poured about a quarter, like I have a soup cup. I use soup cups for my tea, and these soup cups have Rip what? What's up? But yeah, I have a soup cup, and the soup cups, I've used a measuring cup to measure out how many quantities of liquid it contains, and it contains 2 cups of liquid. So I have about a cup and a half of tea and a half cup of Red Bull right now that I'm drinking. And as you can see, energy drinks get me wired. After this week, you will die. Oh God, no. I've done this before, Grant. I was just saying, when Metal Gear Solid 4 was coming out, I was so hyped for it that I played through, in this order, I played through Metal Gear Solid 3. I played through Metal Gear Solid 3, 1, 2, and I looked up information on all the other Metal Gear stuff that I didn't have, so I looked up Metal Gear 1 and 2, I looked up the story behind Peace Walker and all that jazz, and all in all, it was around 30 hours straight or something like that. I went to sleep. 2 days later, Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and then I proceeded to spend the next 20 hours or so just playing through the entirety of that game. Your body can't do that. I'm a bit of a freak. My body's a bit of a freak. Have I ever told you what I view my, memory as, my mind as? I view my mind as a filing cabinet, and, all that shit is in order, alphabetical order. Oh, M, let's go to the M, Metal Gear Solid, let's go to the M's, let's pull that information out, and let's go through, and let's figure out exactly what we're going through. Especially when I play a video game. And as you probably noticed, this game in and of itself says I've only been 57% of the way complete. So, while I have not yet, quote-unquote, beat this game, I have watched, 8 different playthroughs of it. Most of the reason why I haven't beaten it, though, is I got distracted with other games, and, well, this one is fun. It's not a complete product. And that is a damn shame, because it's got a really damn good story. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm pretty sure the main focus of Death Stranding is going to be the story. And while the cutscenes are going on, I'll probably be quiet. I'll probably be typing in the chat, honestly. I'm probably going to type in my own chat more than I've ever typed in any other chat ever since I've had an account on Twitch while the cutscenes are going on. And then, when we're doing the traveling, is when we will discuss everything that's going on. And the best part is, I'm pretty sure, like a lot of that traveling, Saturday is my Niho Till Done stream. Nice. But basically, here's what's gonna happen, because Thursday, tomorrow, we're good, and then Friday at midnight, at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, is when I'm intending to start Death Stranding. So I should be ending on Saturday at 12:01 p.m. This might sound a little confusing, but basically if you were going to go with military time, it would be 0001 is when we start, and then 12:01 is when we end, and that's after 36 hours. We might go longer than that, though, depending on how hype I am, how excited I am, how woke I am. We may go for longer. But, regardless of all that, I'm pretty sure that most of the conversation about the story and what exactly is going on will be as we're traveling to wherever the hell Sam Bridges needs to go. But yeah, my favorite bit is if people come by and they have no idea about the game and they want information on it, I'll probably go through and like try and do a complete verbal breakdown of everything that's going on and has been going on for all the people that show up. Send you guys to me on Saturday, lol. Potentially, Grant. Potentially. I will, if you're live, that'll be a thing. Also, for everyone that's just showing up, greetings and good day. How are you all today? To give you a quick little breakdown of what I'm talking about, as you can see from the title. Just talking about how I intend to do a 36-hour release day stream of Death Stranding. Tomorrow, in quotation marks. What I mean by tomorrow is 12:01 a.m. Friday. When, as soon as I'm able to play it, I'm pressing play on that bitch, and we are going until we can't go no mo. I'm really interested to see, though, what the number of enemies are. Like, we've already seen that there's some kind of shadow enemy. There's Mads Milkinson, his character. Definitely looks like a quote-unquote boss character. We got, what's his name? Troy Baker, I think it is. Yeah, Troy Baker's character looks like a boss character. But the question is, how exactly do we even fight those characters, or do we just avoid them? That's my main question about all that. And for the regular enemies, what exactly do we have for the regular enemies? Like I said, we've already seen the shadow guys, and we've already seen the individuals that try and chase us down when we're traveling to our delivery points. So, what exactly are the number of enemies we're going to face? Like, is it only going to be shadow guys and individuals that are trying to get whatever we're delivering? Or is it going to be like a mixture of shadow delivery, anti-delivery guys? Is it going to be individuals with guns instead of those little electric spears they have? And those are just what I'm thinking about the base enemies. And from what it looks like, we'll also be able to face against the boss enemies. But like I said before, I don't know the extent of the combat. It looks like there's hand-to-hand, that's for sure. But will we be able to use actual items, or are we just a delivery boy and that's it? That can just punch, or use what we're delivering on occasion to defend ourselves. Or we'll be able to pick up one of them spears, and maybe even a gun later down the line, and utilize that. And then again, from what I can see from the shadow guys, if we're making a lot of noise, they'll show up and bring the hammer down on us, and we don't want that. Because they look like they instantly kill us. The damn dust. Yes. Well, we have this for the dust. But yeah, I really don't think there's going to be as much of a focus on combat for that game. And I'm okay with that.
Hands up. Speak.
There we go. What else? It also looks like there's going to be some kind of like cross. And what I mean what I mean by cross is from one of the previews we've seen, there was a World War II looking encounter. Or a World War I encounter maybe? And my question is how common are those counters, those echoes, if you will? Like, as we're traveling, will those encounters be random events? Will they be kind of how like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or a game like that does with their lore? And will we be able to pick up new information and new lore bits about what exactly is going on? Because from what we've seen, some kind of cataclysmic event has occurred and has just completely shattered the world on a communication status, an interaction status. Heck, even the life and death of individuals is in question. So I'm really excited to see exactly what happened and exactly why Sam Bridges finishing whatever I think it was Emily started is so important. Okay, see you later, Grant. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, during the 36 hour, primarily going to be just chilling, seeing where the story takes us, and going from there, obviously. But there will probably be many interruptions in the afternoon portions of that stream, because I do have a couple things I will need to do, so I'll probably have to mute every once in a while or pause it. Hopefully we can pause during cutscenes. If not, that would be horrible. But there will be a couple occasions where I'll have to step away for 5-10 minutes and then come back. There will also be a couple of occasions where, when I'm getting some kind of a meal, I'll be stepped away for however long it takes us to get said meal. But my hope is that'll be more than okay with the individuals that are watching, due to the fact that I intend to sit down, mute my mic whenever I'm eating, because I can't stand when people are smacking their lips eating stuff. That's a personal thing, so I won't do that and subject you and fine individuals to that. But I will be after I eat, I'd like to talk to any other individuals. I know time zones are a thing, but my curiosity would be what's everyone else is eating for their meal or their snack or what have you. So I don't want it to just be everyone watching me stream a game for 36 hours. I want it to be an event. I want us all to enjoy the game, together. The experience, because like I said, I highly doubt the main focus is going to be combat. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more like a movie than anything else, but I'm okay with that because I'm preparing myself to go in not expecting there to be combat, not expecting there to be a lot of action. I'm expecting it to be more chill than a Metal Gear Solid game or what have you. Okay. But yeah, from what I've seen of the trailers and all that, I'm really interested to see how in-depth the combat actually goes. And what the extent of said combat is. Are we just pressing one button, or do we actually have, like, combos we can perform? Weapons, it seems like the only weapons we could utilize are actually the cargo we're carrying. How much does that cargo encumber us? Are we going to be coming across situations where we can't move as easily or stealthily or even efficiently because of how much gear we're going to be having bogging us down? These are all questions I probably should start making a list of, just so I can start to be, like, prepared to answer said question. How large is the world overall? Is it basically just like an open world? Is it I highly doubt it's the entirety of the United States that we're walking across or driving across. But just how large are these maps we'll be traversing? And how linear are these maps? Can we, like, if we see a mountain, can we go to that mountain? Are there invisible walls? And instead, like, if we do pass or go to those invisible walls, are they not solid invisible walls? Or are they metaphorical invisible walls that have it to where if we pass this wall, we can go as far as we want, but all of a sudden the shadows start coming after us, or the shadows jump out in front of us and prevent us from going any further. The rain seems to be, like, the weather seems to be a thing, and that weather seems to have some sort of effect on what is coming after us, or who is coming after us, I should say. And that excites me. That excites me a lot. And my question is, how random is the weather? Are we going to be like, oh, it's rainy day, so we can't go out and play? Or is it going to be not random at all, and just like, it's supposed to rain, so it's going to rain, you have to deal with that? And I wonder how many times, if there is any set in stone weather events, how many of them are there? And when do they occur? Can any of the characters we've seen so far affect the weather? That's another question. The enemies that chase us down, what's their range? Are they gonna, if they're in our vicinity, are they gonna forever and always chase us down until we get out of the line of sight? Or is it just, if we get to a certain area, we're scot-free and we don't have to worry about shadows or anything like that? the customization options I have a question for. It looks like we can ride vehicles. How many vehicles can we ride, and can we customize those vehicles? So far, it looks like we can just utilize a motorcycle. Can we utilize any movable vehicle or just a motorcycle? And regardless of all that, how in-depth can we get the customization to be? Like, can we trick out the vehicle with just cosmetics? Can we upgrade an engine, the tires, stuff like that? Our own character, I highly doubt we'll be able to actually make any changes to the character themselves, but what they're wearing. Can we have them wear a hat if we want them to wear a hat? Or is that a no-go? How smart is the AI going to be? Is my big question. Neat. And where the AI intelligence change
You gotta extract
based on the type of enemy we come across, or how skilled we are against that type of enemy, or what have you. Like, the better we do against the enemies, do they get better? Or are they set in stone? Does their combat skills evolve? Or, again, are they set in stone?
He's coming too. Roger that.
The references, that's another big one. How many different types of references and what references are going to be made is something I am questioning as well. Will the references be... well, some of them should be obvious, if there are any. And what exactly will the limitation of those references be? Crap. You need to come down here so I can get you. But yeah, like this, like I'm kind of walking in front of him and he doesn't really see me from that distance. How exactly far will an enemy be able to see me? Is their vision dependent on day-night cycle? Or does it not matter? Is their vision consistently the same distance regardless? Buildings. How many buildings will we be able to enter in the wild? Will there be any buildings in the wild? This kind of stuff that I'm doing right here is, are we going to be able to grab hold of an enemy and silently knock them out, or are we stuck with avoidance? how many side missions are there going to be? Are there going to be any side missions? What other questions do I have or can think of off the top of my head for Death Stranding? Base building? Is there going to be any sort of base building, or are we stuck with what we have? Interaction with characters. What exactly kind of interactions can we expect between Dead Man Dead, or what's his name? Dead Man, and all them? Like, what exactly kind of interactions can we expect? I hope not all the interactions will be set in stone or cutscene based.
He's coming too. Roger that.
I'm kind of hoping we'll be able to do a lot of like side stuff, and there will be a lot of side stuff to do that'll expand on the world building and the lore of the world. That would be pretty neat. But yeah, I'm actually really curious about if we can or cannot enter any buildings in that game, and what type of situations will occur if we do enter those buildings. Because so far all we've seen is like exterior world environments, aside from what looks to be the main HQ, that being like the complex with Guillermo del Toro's character and all those other individuals we can deal with. Are they all in the same place, or are there actually different buildings around that area we can go to? What other situations can arise with the interactions that we have available to us? Like, if we do certain things a certain way, will certain characters' opinions of us change? Do their opinions even matter? My biggest thing though is, I know I'm not going in expecting combat. I'm going in prepared for a lot of story-based stuff and a lack of combat. But I do hope there is some sort of combat and it's unique. But it doesn't really matter to me, as long as the story's as good and insane as it looks. I'll be one satisfied cookie. And exactly how stealthy can we be in that game? Like, is our stealth just based upon our movement speed, or can we use some kind of basic camouflage or advanced camouflage? And those character interactions I was referring to earlier, when you interact with said characters, how in-depth can those interactions be? Are they just stuck at a cutscene level, and that's that? Or can we get side missions from them? Like, hey, I know you're going out to deliver this important piece of equipment, but if you can also deliver this on your way, I would be very much appreciative of that. That's something that interests me. And what kind of gear will we get? Like, will we get any kind of a gear? Is there any kind of abilities or powers we can unlock? Or are we stuck at just base human with a bridge baby strapped to our stomach? The main thing I am curious about, though, is how in-depth the story is going to get. We don't want to do that. Like, have we already been told all the information we could possibly use? And like, they've ruined the game already? I highly doubt this, obviously, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. The gameplay, how long it is, what is the gameplay loop exactly? Are we doing is delivering one item to one place, or do we go back and forth a little bit? Character deaths. That's another big one. What are we going to be experiencing with characters? How/when they die? How can they be avoided? Mission failures or game failures?
He's coming too.
Do they affect the story? Like, from what it seems like, Sam dying is a thing that seems to actually occur in the world regularly. It's not like, oh, you died, reset to the last load. It seems more of something along the lines of like Sekiro or Dark Souls or something like that, where, oh, hey, you died like 3 times already, Sam. How does that feel? Is that accurate, or is it just I'm misconstruing something? I don't know. But I'm curious. The biggest thing, though, I'm curious about the map size and how the map is made up. Like, that's the big one for me for right now. Like, not the biggest thing I'm curious about. The biggest thing I'm curious about is the combat stuff and what exactly combat's like, if there is any combat. But another thing is the size of the map. It looks like the maps are going to be pretty freaking big. But are there multiple maps we can go to, or is there one map as in just one map? I do find that very hard to believe. The limitations on the map and where we can go is probably going to be like the make or break aspect of that game to some extent. The level of action people experience is going to be another big one. I don't, in particular, care if there's a lot of action or not. It'd be nice if there was some action moments. Well, it looks like there's going to be action moments, but I mean, like, involved action. And what I refer to when I say involved action is, like, we're the one that's causing explosions, or people to get dropped on their back, knocked out. That's involuntary. Like, initiated action is what I should say. Or is it going to be experienced action? We'll see, though. We will see. Another big one, movement in and of itself. How crazy can our movement get? Can we climb up the side of a mountain like we're playing Skyrim? Or are we going to have to utilize a climbing gear or a ladder or some such like that? And that's another thing too. What exactly type of tools or building do we have available to us during that exploration or traversing of the wilderness? It's something I am extremely interested about. Because an example of like map size, this is a pretty decent map, but you can't go anywhere outside this area. You're blocked in by mountains or invisible walls or some such. Basically, the game will end if you try and go outside the border zone. And one of the only areas to go outside said border zone is there's a desert area. I think it's over here. If you try and go past this point, it's all like, oh no, if you go any further, you'll die. So I'm very curious to see if the maps are similar to that in Death Stranding, or if they're completely open, and how open that openness is. Like, can we literally walk from one side of the United States to the other? I highly doubt this. This is a thing I extremely highly doubt, because the amount of data you would need would be like, astronomical, it feels like. Then again, I could be completely wrong. They could have it set up in a way to where it's not actually containing that data. I don't know. As I was saying that, I was realizing how dumb that kind of sounds. But I'm just using this as a way to vent some of my hype. Consumables. Will we be able to eat and drink anything before, after, or during missions? Will we be able to utilize smoke grenades or anything, or stun grenades or anything like that? Or do those not exist in our vocabulary as Sam? The movement also I'm curious about is what kind of a sprint do we experience? Are we going to be experiencing a sprint that has a bar and it's like, oh, you're low on stamina? Or are we going to be able to sprint forever and always? Is the sprint, or our stamina, or whatever we're going to call it, invisible? And we only get visual notifications based on what our character's doing, and verbal cues based on what our character sounds. Like when he's running, if he's out of breath, are we going to hear that? Or is it going to show us outright? The HUD, how customizable is the HUD, is another curiosity I wish to have stated. And speaking of, I meant to say HUD, not hub. But speaking of hub, what exactly is our hub going to be? Every time we complete a mission, are we going to end up back at home base? Are we going to have a fast travel system that's like, alright, you're done, let's send you back to home base? Or is it going to be something even more strenuous and be like, oh, you have to literally take your ass all the way back to base? Like, if you want to get the hell back, you have to take yourself there. Is that the situations we're going to be experiencing? Or is it something more along the lines of just dumb luck? Too bad we can't use their feet to be like, oh, this is what their skill level is in feet. I don't know exactly what that even means.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I wonder if we will be able to sneak up on people and knock them out in Death Stranding. It'd be kind of weird if we could, but I'd be okay with it either or. Hopefully this works as I intended to, this little stream I got going, and will help me be able to go to sleep at a semi-normal hour compared to what I've been experiencing lately. Yeah, when the 36-hour stream starts of Death Stranding, we will have been playing this game, I believe, before that. We're going to play this game tomorrow from like 8 to midnight. Maybe I'll pick something else instead of this game, because this is more of just an open world, mess around, do whatever you want. This is basically, this stream is to get all my thoughts in order for how I'm going to be playing Death Stranding. And what I am expecting, or what I'm interested in as we go along. Basically, this is just the vent. This is the vent stream. Tomorrow is going to be the prep. And then the actual activation of that stream. But yeah, for Death Stranding, I intend to do everything you possibly can do. And I intend to play that game until I see that 100% tick mark. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Oh, speaking of that reminds me a little bit, I need to do something really quickly before I forget. Okay, good. I was a little concerned there for a minute. Will the vehicles have any sort of fuel, or are they powered by the sun, or will power alone? That's something I'm extremely interested in. And again, the extent of the vehicles we can utilize it. Oh wait, I already seen we can use motorcycles, but how long can we use those motorcycles for? Can we use them only in certain areas? Or can we use them whenever we feel like? And is it just limited to the motorcycle style vehicle? Can we store any of our cargo on said motorcycle. What else? Oh, we'll probably have music to deal with, and hopefully we won't get certain parts of the VOD muted during the 36 hour. That would be a damn shame, because if the VOD gets muted, those parts in YouTube get muted. And we have to deal with that. So that would be a damn shame. That sonar does make a sound, so we have to be careful with when we do it, because if we do it within a certain amount of distance, we'll actually call down people on us. Oh, that's not a regular person. I'm trying to remember how to punch. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I'm getting hyped up. I'm getting myself ready. I'm getting myself prepared. And in order to do that, I'm basically venting right now. Also, tonight is going to be a very, very short stream. Like, in an hour, I'm probably going to end the stream here, because I want to get to sleep as early as possible in preparation, and sleep for as long as possible in preparation for this 36 that's coming up. And I do apologize for kind of cutting it early, but I don't want to mess myself up and not be able to, like, be dull at the tail end of the 36 hour. That's like, I highly doubt I'll be something like that as long as my hype remains. That's another drone, not drone, another decoy is what I'm trying to say. Will we be able to communicate whenever we feel like with any of the characters we come across? Any of the NPCs? Can we perform actions that will actually affect relationships? Like, can we make an enemy an ally, or are all enemies enemies and all allies allies? Or can allies become enemies, and vice versa? Do we have any decisions we can make at all, or is everything set in stone? Like, we're just gonna be in for the ride? And if we are set in stone and just along for the ride, how in depth of the characters we communicate with is that ride gonna be? Like, are we gonna be able to look up Like, say there's books. Are we going to be able to read books about what the Death Stranding was, when it occurred? Who caused the Death Stranding? Did it come just because, or did someone cause it? That's some of the other curiosities my brain's having. What's this? These individuals look like they're... they're affected by... what, the skull? Whatever they're called? So it looks like they didn't move from their position. That's a little worrisome. Oh, here they come. Took them a while. But that's the other thing. How can we like, if we're not able to combat other individuals, can we utilize distractions like that? Can we toss something and then boom? Does a sleep grenade work? Doesn't look like the sleep grenade actually works. It did. It did. That was close. Okay. I wonder how adverse the weather effects are actually going to be on Death Stranding. Like, is it just rain we have to worry about, or are we going to be dealing with stuff like sandstorms, snowstorms, stuff like that? I'm very, very curious to see. Oh boy. Okay, so after I finish this mission, I may actually wrap the stream then. Just because I'm at this point to where I don't feel like switching to a different game, and I'm just getting tired, you know what I mean? Well, not tired, but I don't want to get to the point to where I'm yawning at the start of tomorrow's stream, you know what I mean?
That's the target.
Okay. Neat. Alright, I'll get into the evac zone or whatever.
Roger.
Because this area is cleared, we should be good to go. And then I'll do my ending spiel, and we'll go from there. The main reason this is so short is because I pretty much everything off the top of my head that I could possibly think of I've discussed regarding Death Stranding. I've pretty much outlined what the 36-hour stream is going to be, which is not too complex. Just basically play the damn game, communicate with everybody in chat, and we all go out and get our meals together. If they want to. The people that are in the chat at the time that I'm playing through Death Stranding. It's not that complicated. It is what it is. The most complex stuff is my thoughts regarding what exactly is going to be entailed into the game and what kind of details we're going to be dealing with. How in-depth the story is going to be, the combat's going to be, what the main focus of certain things is going to be. All that jazz. It's not... It's not, too much of an issue, you know what I mean? It just, we see we do. I almost can't believe it. Like, I was miscalculated. I almost can't believe it, honestly. Tomorrow's Thursday. The game comes out Friday at midnight, right? I'm gonna skip this because I don't really care. I mean, I do. It's cool. I got a lot of S rank soldiers. I'm actually looking up to be sure 100% when I can play Death Stranding. I know the initial release date, which is November 8th, but is it going to be midnight? Uh, Alright. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that it'll be one of those situations. My apologies for the delay. Actually, I'll go a little bit longer, I think. I'm gonna look a couple things up as we basically use this helicopter as the... Actually, I was gonna put music on in the game, but I'm pretty sure that'll get the VOD muted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll get the VOD muted. Whatever. Okay. So the basic rundown is I have a lot of curiosities about what exactly is going to be entailed regarding Death Stranding. From the story itself to how in-depth the combat will get. What kind of bosses you will face, all that jazz I'm very curious about. The three biggest points, though, the things that I'm most excited for over everything else. The story, the characters, and the world. Those are the three things that will, like, make or break the game for me. I don't care about the action. The action would be nice to have, but I don't care about it. Same for combat. It would be nice to have it, but I do not care about it. I'm curious, though, about how the flow is going to go, how the pacing will be for the game. And the gameplay loop. That's where the world comes in at. Like, am I going to be bored out of my noggin when I'm traveling the world, or is it going to be something I'm actually going to be able to enjoy playing? The environment looks beautiful. The world itself looks absolutely beautiful from what I've seen so far. What else? That's pretty much it. So, November 8th, in just a few short hours, and I say few short hours when it's going to be over 24. Specifically, it's going to be, since it's 9:35 p.m. my time, then again, anyways, 26 hours I think it's going to be. It's going to be 26 hours and 24 minutes before I can play Death Stranding. Oh my god, it cannot come quick enough. Aside from this has been one of the shortest streams I've ever done. I'm wrapping this up because I'm probably going to lay in my bed and spend the next hour and a half just running through like the same exact stuff that I talked about here. I'll probably think about before I go to bed while I'm trying to conk out. God, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast and a half. For those of you that are currently watching on stream on my Twitch, I thank you for stopping by, and I do hope you enjoyed. I do apologize for how short it's been, but tomorrow I'm definitely making up for that and more. So prepare your sphincters, all y'all, because it is going to be a wild ride. And for those of you that are currently watching on YouTube, thank you for stopping by. I do hope you enjoyed, even though this was basically just me chilling, gushing, and wigging out. And if you did, do not forget to hit the subscription button and the bell notification so you can always be notified whenever I upload a full stream or anything else that catches my fancy. Hit the like if you liked, and comment if you feel so inclined to do so. If you want to catch a live stream, I go live at 8 p.m. EST EDT, and normally I go for about 4 hours, but today I'm calling it way early because tomorrow is going to be a long day. All said, it's probably going to be a total of 40-hour stream. it's going to be interrupted because I'm probably going to play for the first 4 hours of whatever game that catches my fancy for the day. And then we're going to switch on over at, I'm really hoping midnight it'll be able to play it, but at midnight my time I'll be switching over to Death Stranding for 36 hours. That's the plan anyways. I still can't believe how quick it's going to be coming on us. It went from years, it went from literally years I've been waiting for this game, to months, to weeks, to now where we've dropped down to literally hours. This is going to be going up on my YouTube really early tomorrow. Or, like, I'm going to basically spend 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, but like 10 to 15 minutes getting this all set up. I have no idea what I'm going to use for a thumbnail, but that doesn't really matter, I suppose. But yeah, I'm going to spend the time to get this up, and I'm going to set it scheduled for 8 in the morning. Just so everybody can be starting to get informed. Because tomorrow's the big day, basically. I'm just excited. I'm like starting to shake a little bit because of how hype I'm getting. Well, yeah, to finish my ending spiel, I'm sorry about that little stretch of interruption for my ending spiel, but yeah, if you want to catch a live stream, do all that. Also, both things are at KingTombs456. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, head on over to my Twitch as well, so you can follow me over there and follow me. Wait, let's easy verbal dyslexia. Feel free to follow, because following is always free. It helps you find me quicker when I'm live. It helps you be notified when I go live, as long as you have notifications turned on, and it helps out the channel. I would very much appreciate it if you did so. If you want to get other notifications, I always tweet out when I go live if there's going to be a delay in the stream or if there's not going to be a stream. And again, all this is at KingTombs456. I don't have much more to discuss. I'm basically just taking up time right now, so I'm going to end it here. Again, it feels weird ending it this early, but I need to get my mind and my body in equilibrium, basically, and prepared for this event, because I do not want to pass out. Not literally, like, I'm not going to pass out, I know that much, but I don't want it to be to where I'm like yawning every 5 seconds at hour 30. I do not want that to be the situation we experience. Alright, I'm just lambering? I'm just like rambling. There we go. I'm just rambling. So at this point, I'm gonna call it. That's gonna be it for me. Till next time, for the big one. KingTombs 456 signing out. Bye bye.